Hello. This is a comprehensive job order costing problem. We're going to journalize some transactions and then post them to T accounts and then do an income statement. This is Lane Confectioners. They produce sugar candies and chocolates for airlines and hotels. And here we've got some information for the month of March. First, they bought some raw materials, some confectionery sugar, some granulated sugar, chocolate, some caramel from Seattle Confectionery Supplies. That was purchased on credit. And then in addition, they bought some eggs and some paraffin for cash, okay, from PMC Foods. So we need to figure out how to journalize that. Okay, I've got the calculation set up over here. Let me just move this over so we can see it. Here's my calcs, the quantity times the cost. So for confectioner sugar, granulated sugar, chocolate, and caramel, okay, we purchased a total of $7,800 on credit. And for the eggs and paraffin, we've got we purchased $96 worth. And so my total purchases, this would be going to raw materials inventory, is $78.96. Okay, now let's look at journalizing that. Here's my journal. It's set up, the date, the account, and the debits and credits. Right? Now we don't have any dates, so I'm just going to leave that blank. I've got my account titles set up here, the ones that I'm going to be using. So I'll just start out with, we're buying what? We're buying raw materials. So we're going to debit inventory raw materials, okay, and that's going to be, let me show you, for the $78.96, that's the total. So I'm going to hit the equal sign, $78.96. Okay, and now the credit is going to be to cash for part of it and to accounts payable for the rest. So these are going to be credits. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to indent these a couple spaces just to make it easier to follow. Okay, now credit to cash, I'm going off screen here. That's $96, and credit to accounts payable, the $7,800, which I just calculated. So I've got my debits equal to my credits, and what I could do, I'll go down to the bottom here, and I'll just set up auto sum, set up the sum, total debits, total credits. So I've got debits equal my credits, and I just keep an eye on that because for each journal entry, your debits should equal your credits. Okay. Now, let's see. I've got my beginning inventory balances, all right? So those are what exist in the accounts already. So raw materials inventory, let's set up some T accounts here, okay? Now you might want to do this by hand. I'm going to set up these T accounts here so we can follow. So I'll do a bottom border and a left border. Okay. Then I'll hit Control C, Control V. I'm just going to keep track of the accounts that I need in the T accounts in order to do the income statement. Okay, so that means I have to keep track of my inventory accounts because that's going to affect cost of goods sold and also my revenues and expenses. So let's start out with raw materials inventory. So the equal sign, inventory raw materials, and that has a beginning balance. I'm going to type that in, 2,500. Okay, and as long as I'm doing inventory, let's do the work in process inventory. And that has a beginning balance of 6,500. You notice these are debit balances because they're assets. And my finished goods inventory has a beginning balance of 9,000. Okay. You notice we also have the ending inventories in those accounts given, and those will come into play in a little bit. Okay. So for right now, okay, now I've got some direct labor costs. Okay, $5,400 for 450 hours. Now, because this is a manufacturing entity, okay, our manufacturing costs, direct material, direct labor, and overhead costs, those are going to all flow through work in process inventory to finished goods inventory, and then there will be expense under one account called cost of goods sold. Right? And so my direct labor cost is not going to go to wage expense, it's going to go to work in process inventory. Right? So I'm going to debit inventory work in process, and then I'm going to credit wages payable. We're just keeping it simple. We're not keeping track of any withholding or that type of thing because we're not focusing on that. Okay. And this amount is $5,400. And I'll just put it back over here. I'll use the equal sign because I want to type the information as little as possible. All right, now let's post these things. I forgot to post this first entry right here, so let's go ahead and do that. Inventory raw materials is debited $78.96. Okay, I'm not keeping track of cash and accounts payable. Those are balance sheet accounts, so I don't really need to keep track of those. Now I've got my inventory work in process debited for $5,400 for direct wages. Okay. Okay, you notice my total debits is equal to my total credits, so I'm doing okay in that regard. So let's go back up here and look at this problem. Let's see. I'm going to deal with my ending balance in inventory here, raw materials inventory, 3,500. Okay. Here's my inventory account. All right. Now, if you look at this total right now, we've got 10,396, and we do a little underline there so I can see that's the total. All right. Now, these inventory raw materials, they're used in the baking process. That's going from raw materials to work in process. Okay. Now, they're giving us the ending balance of 3,500. So I'm going to type that in, 3,500. Okay. So this is how much we purchased. Here's your beginning balance. Here's the increase. Here's the ending balance. We have to figure out how much the decrease, and it's going to be the difference between these two. So I'm going to do just a little subtraction. 10,396 minus is 3,500. That's the decrease in the raw materials. Now, where is it going? It's going from raw materials to work in process. So the journal entry would be a debit to work in process and a credit to the raw materials inventory. And I'm going to pull this from right here, 6896, 6896. So I've already got this one posted right here. I'm going to debit the work in process inventory for that 6896. Now my raw materials T account is up to date at the end of the period, so I'm just going to draw a bottom border there. There's my ending balance of raw materials inventory. Okay, let's see what's next. I'll go up here. Indirect labor costs were $2,500. Okay, utilities were $400, rent $750, and other overhead costs totaled $5,000.